Once again, good morning, delegates. And now we are starting with session two of day six. Our today's speaker for session two is Mrs. Yogini Gaidhani. She is a program director, Asset Lifecycle Management Program, Pfizer at United Arab Emirates. Her topic is soft skills at work. Let me introduce Mrs. Yogini. Regarding her educational qualification and work experience, currently she is working as Program Director at Asset Lifecycle Management Program, Pfizer, UAE. She has more than 18 years of experience in sales, operations, business development, and project portfolios and third party alliance management. She has demonstrated track record in sales and marketing B2B for APIs, including regulated and less regulated markets for generating business opportunities. She is having deep knowledge of new product introduction and leading complex strategies projects by providing key insights, ideas, data analysis, and opportunity analysis in regulator environment. She has postgraduate qualification in MBA marketing from Pune University, India. She has completed UG degree in B.Pharm from Pune University, India. She has her expertise in following areas: process excellence and continuous improvement, project portfolio management and cost optimization, new product development and strategic planning, key account management, data privacy, and leading and implementing large organizational change. Mrs. Yogini has a good number of awards and achievements on her credit. Exclusive, sorry, exquisite, executive program for leadership and management, IIM Calcutta, India. Startup Investorpreneur program, IIML EIC India. Six Sigma Green Belt certified by American Society for Quality. Business Analytics program, Wharton Online US. Executive Education program in Digital Strategies, IIM Bangalore, India. With this brief introduction, I request Yogini Madam to start the session on soft skills at work. Over to you, Madam.
Yep. So I'm not able to share my screen at the moment. Yeah.
Your screen is visible now.
Okay. Let me take to slide number 1. Is it okay? Visible
Yes,
now?
yes,
Okay.
yes, visible.
Okay. My audio is okay?
Yes, your audio is okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Yogini, and I'm working as Director of Asset Lifecycle Management in Pfizer. I'm based in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, and I work with global engineering team. And let me start by thanking the organizers for inviting me and making me part of this amazing journey. So thank you so much to everyone who took efforts to support me. And I would like to convey my sincere regards to all the teachers who have joined or will be watching the recording of this session. I will be with you for 55 minutes talking about some important skills which will become critical in professional and personal journey as you grow. Leveraging this session and opportunity to talk to you all, I will share some of the soft skills and my perspectives over them. So I'm not covering all of them. And when I started thinking about this session and started making the list of the soft skill, the list was long. But what I did is pick and choose only those which you can start from now. So they are like a roadmap or long-term perspectives when it comes to soft skills. And over a period, it will be good for all of you as you start the journey, or those who are in middle of their journey, professional journey. They can think through and adjust accordingly. To start with, to give you some perspective about, yeah, the world or industry organization requirements, they are completely different than what we learn from the subjects in the college. So we study graduation. I studied pharmacy, and we are all are pharmacists here majorly. So, learning in a college or any educational institute makes us understand the subject well and perhaps upgrade us to the subject matter expert or SME. This is how it is called in the real world. And if you're not having expertise in one particular aspect or area, then the career journey becomes difficult because you're not able to bring value to the table. And this is what any organization look for. What is the value the candidate is bringing to the table? You cannot use other peripheral soft skills, even your charm, personality, your literary ability, nor your auxiliary knowledge to grow in the company, organization, or the place wherever you are, unless you have something as base or fundamental expertise. And that goes without saying. So you need to be expert in the core area, but every subject matter you associate with additional skill, say subject matter expertise plus commercial acumen, subject matter expertise plus leadership qualities, subject expertise with deeper research skill, or subject expertise. It can be common, but you must develop a additional skill or skill set, multiple skills to grow and thrive in any organization or your workplace. Whichever industry you are in, whether you are in your own business, whether you work for a company, for a corporate, for a startup, or you're a professor in college, you are a student, you're basically trying to add value and monetize that value for driving profits or benefits for the environment in which you work. So college is already offering the knowledge to become expert, and now coming to what you need in this growth journey is soft skills or these additional skills which you would need along with your core subject. And I would like to touch base with some of these soft skills and let's see how the story goes. Okay, so let's begin. And the first in the list is networking. And if you look at the picture carefully, this picture is a picture of Panchayat, Gram Panchayat seen in any rural town of India or any place which is a small place India. And that was, I think, that was a very foundation of networking where people used to come together, people from different backgrounds, talk together, make decisions, move about and move forward and talk about growth for the specific or smaller area. So this is how I call the first opportunity for networking for these people. Well, now we know and have defined various terms for these, but networking is not something new. It existed since olden times. And active professional network, so coming back to the professional life, active professional networking is vital for our career growth. Uh, and many become uncomfortable when they hear the term networking. So for many people, it's about awkwardness, participation in the cheesy events, the idea of selling yourself. This is how some people look at it. And despite its off putting connotations, building networking is essential. It's essential to create long term relationships and establishing a good professional reputation over a period of time. It involves meeting people, getting to know them, seeing who can you assist and who potentially can assist you in return. It is essential craft to master, I would say. After so many years in the industry, this is what I've realized and understood. So no matter if you're a student, a professional, teacher, what industry you work in, or what is your level of experience, this skill is very important. And when I say networking, I'm not talking about the social media activity, right? So I'm not talking about the comment, share, subscribe, and like structure. This is tiny part of the big plan. This is there, but this is not everything. So let's look at networking from a broader perspective. And with the right approach, people networking can provide opportunity to build mutually beneficial relationships. And once you have established a solid professional network or relationships, you will be the first to know about the advancements, about some special job opportunities in your field, and you can be reached out by anyone in your network who is seeking to hire someone who's having skill sets and experience like you have. So the first and foremost question, and believe me, I'm very introvert person. I'm not someone who's going out and making contacts very easily. So it took me time to come over and then acquire this skill. It's a long journey. Sometimes you have to sacrifice, sometimes you have to break the shackles around your mind and move. uh, but this is very, very critical. So the first question comes here is, who should you include in your network activity? I think having right contacts in your professional network can help you maximize many opportunities, including learning. So, as a first step, consider building the industry network with people around you. So, your classmates, study peers, or when you start working, your current and former colleagues, your professors, teachers, friends, and family who work in corporate. Because after many, many years in corporates or industry, they have certain skill sets and experience. So, you can leverage on what they have garnered, and any other professional who you think can bring diverse perspective to your thought process and vision in you. Members from relevant industry associations and sporting teams, or someone who's in sports or playing a sport. It is good to get associated with the person, because I think sports person, they completely have different mindset. So winning and losing is something, is part of process for them and not a taboo. So it's very good and amazing to listen to them when they talk, when they lose specifically. They have different things to say, and it's a good connection. Social and interest based groups, religious communities. I think this is a very good area to connect with, not from religious perspective. I'm not a very religious person, but also again to listen what they have to say. Uh, I think the list is ever expanding. Networking can include everything from informal chat at any family function to attending a highly specialized industry event. So, in any case, the goal is to open lines for communication. That is the basic thing which we all look forward to, and start building the relationships that are relevant for our development at work, at professional, personal level. So, everywhere. And some common examples I would like to state for professional networking is getting involved with networking events like expos, conferences, career fairs. And I look at this process as cold calling. So what is cold calling? You attend 10 functions, but you might receive only 2 contacts. But those two networking contacts might be amazing. So you have to sacrifice your time to go to those events, attend, meet people, listen, come back. Sometimes there might not be anyone who met who was of any importance to you, but this is a process you should, I would say, go through. And then couple of other opportunities I would say is keeping in touch with former colleagues. So if you are working in different industry, your colleague moved to another industry, keeping in touch with them. And when I say keeping in touch, I'm not talking about the happy birthday, happy Diwali, happy New Year messages. So that's not keeping in touch really when it comes to professional life. Keeping in touch is making an effort to call them and ask them about advancements or what they are doing. Simple question, what's happening in their work area, trying to understand, pick those important words when they speak, and try to elaborate. Understanding about their roles and responsibilities is the first step to network and connect with them. Getting to know current colleagues better, I think this is also important, because when we work in a group, we rarely talk apart from our work stuff, what they do, what they are expert in. So getting to know current colleagues also helps in networking, and expand our network by getting connected to their network. Uh, and then, of course, industry meetups and virtual groups, communities, they create value also when you participate in the discussion. Believe me, networking is about sharing. So it's a two-way process. So it's not only taking and going to someone and reaching out, hey, I'm this, I'm looking for a job or I'm looking for something. Will you be able to help? Most of the time people don't help if they are not connected to you beforehand. So it's all about forming trust and helping one another towards common goal. Either the goal can be common or they can be diversified, but there is a goal to reach. Regularly engaging with your contacts, finding opportunities, assist them, it will strengthen the relationship. So over a period of time, you come to a level where uh, the relationship is so strong that you can reach out to them for anything, and that doesn't look like a opportunist approach. So building that long term relationship is very important. In process, you exchange information. Also, you can exchange your challenges. So you can speak about difficulties you are facing at your work level, or experiences, your goals, the benefits you are currently receiving in your role. So that gives them also some understanding about what's happening in your area. And far for and I think this is just heart to heart. So far from being a nuisance, I would say most people love talking about themselves, and most people love to help when they are asked. It makes them feel flattering and makes them feel useful. So after a period, if you reach out to them, hey, I need help, they will step in and they will try to help you. So if you are struggling with a decision, challenge, new direction, which job to pick from the two opportunities, call a trusted or former colleague, mentor, teacher, friend, organize a coffee. That can be beneficial. This is how you widen your thought process, because then you get fresh perspectives, you get fresh eyes to look at the same problem. And at the same time, offering helpful ideas in return. This is an excellent way to build this reputation of yours as a innovative thinker. So they should not also feel like you're just receiving benefits from them, but when you give them ideas, you also are giving them different perspectives, and that benefits them. And as I grew, I think one thing what I have realized is, in first, so I was looking at my journey as I was preparing to talk here. So 0 to 5 years, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20. I think when you grow in your career and when you grow upwards, uh, believe me, the opportunities or the job opportunities visibility become less and less. So at higher level, less jobs are advertised. Particularly when the career advances, the opportunities are less advertised. So being a recognized part of network is a key way to gain access to these opportunities, and that might not have otherwise. I mean, if you don't have network, you might not have visibility to those opportunities. So it's a good idea to actively ask your contacts about developments, techniques they follow, and also keep an eye on kind of articles they post on the professional platforms like LinkedIn. Don't forget to comment, and don't randomly comment. I mean, you have to be very specific when you comment and let them know that you have appreciated them. uh, don't discount insights from people who are in other industries, because they may not be able to they may not be able to help you from getting a new job, or that area, but they may be helpful to offer a new angle who you may not have thought previously, or who which might be completely new to your industry. So I think overall, my thought here is, of course, important is network, and then network as a long term uh, soft skill, not really for the short term. It's very easy to get caught up in your on our day to day job. They are time consuming. They take a lot out of us, but networking can gain insights that can come only after looking at the situation from fresh eyes. So you have to ensure that you're taking that time out to network. And now I think a common question, which is how to start networking. So you understood why networking is important, how it helps you to grow, how to start it. uh, the reality is it doesn't come naturally to many people. Those who say I'm very good at it, really, I mean, if you go and check with them, they may not be that good. So it doesn't come naturally to many people. You're not alone if you don't have that skill in you, that's okay. uh, I'm myself not very extrovert person. I told you it was very hard for me. And in fact, for some people, the thought of sharing a conversation with a stranger at a conference, at an event, common area, it may be very scary idea. So a good thumb rule which I follow is plan ahead and have some fewer relevant topics planned for discussion in mind. So, after 10 minutes, you're going to see people, you're going to meet someone at the event, or you're going to meet someone at the coffee shop. Specifically, think about the topics you know better. So, the depth and width of the topic should be good enough to make an impression. So, think, and you can actively contribute there. So, you can generate conversations around those topics which you know very well. and specifically prepare yourself when you are going to really network, when you're going to meet new people who are of importance to you. And these conversations may not be all the time about work, work, work. They can be about topics like your hobbies, your interest areas, and even the event where you're gone. So you can also talk about the event, the organizers. So, there are many topics to strike the conversation. What is the idea here? It is to generate a conversation first, very important how to strike that chord, and leave the room for future meetups and possibilities to discuss newer topics. So, this is your bottom line. Then it takes a little effort to achieve this bottom line. And now, how we overcome the fear of networking. So, very simple thing which I followed. I understood this technique little late, but to start that small talk. So, just I would like to take you to our childhood for a few seconds. This is not connected with professional life, but let me take you there. So, remember the times when mom used to make something very special at home, and most of the time, what she did is in a small bowl, she gave a sample to give it to the neighbor, either next door or someone who's very close. So, this activity she either did by sending the child, one of the child, or going by herself. What is this? What is this activity? This is networking. So, by sending that small token, mom is ensuring that there is a connection, there is a bonding over food, and when neighbors make something special, they will remember us. So this is first thing. But the byproduct here is the neighboring auntie will keep an eye on the children when they are playing around and may offer some help if needed. So either she goes herself or send children, because that gives them socializing opportunity. And coming back to this, so we also see the smaller networking opportunities. Always don't have to go big when it is networking. We can leverage on smaller networking opportunities in the personal space as well. The big question remains is overcoming the fear of networking. I think many people struggle with this. I have seen people talking to me about this, and I have heard stories when people are really scared to strike that conversation with influential people. To overcome the fear of networking, I think practicing small talk, this is how I suggest those who have it, they can start by a very small talk. So small talk about a topic, you stand in front of mirror and talk about that topic. So attending social event is something which we all do, but focusing on building connection there based on the common interest is something you can do deliberately. So please keep in mind that it's a two-way street, and it involves meeting others with similar goals and experiences, and don't be afraid to share your ideas and seek help, because I think this is what is going to help you. And this makes a nice segue into the second skill, which is self promotion. Recognizing our achievement has positive effect on our mind. We all know talking about our achievement makes us feel good, self confident. When we share our experiences, we can inspire others as well. So it's a two-way process where we talk about ourselves, we feel good about it, but we also inspire others. So for our careers, sharing our achievement can be critical for progress, for growth. Knowing this is important, and that's one thing. So we all know we need to showcase, but applying can be challenging for many people. So it can still have its own challenges when people go out and there is a need to talk about themselves due to culture, where culturally we say that let my work speak about me, or I will do something so amazing that the achievement of that specific topic or thing will speak about me. In the real world, I don't think it happens like that. So you have to become your own advocate. And sometimes people are shy to talk about their achievement, and even though it is important, they are not very open to talk about their achievement. And I would like you to reflect here a bit. So think about the times when you knew something but you were not open enough to talk about it, so you missed the opportunity. And many people face this during their lifespan, professional career. And Also think about a time when you hesitated to share it. So you knew it, you're there, but you hesitated to talk openly about it because you were worried that this might be seen as bragging. And definitely culturally, you don't want to seen as a bragger or someone who brags about achievement. This is a common experience. Many people hide success even from their loved ones, co-workers, out of desire to avoid bragging. I think this mindset need to be a little bit adjusted to the current situation. And so if you're working on a project, accomplished a goal, made a difference in some way or other way, why you should not talk about it? And not only it will help you to own your career, it will also inspire others. And I'll give you a small example here. So we all know TED Talks, and they're so popular that now they are everywhere. So globally everywhere in cities, bigger towns, there are TED Talks, Josh Talks, and very similar arrangements. So what are these? So there is a speaker. The speaker's narrative is usually around some form of achievement. Either the speaker has written the book, climbed a mountain, overcome some sort of difficulty or obstacle in their life. And because we find hearing to these stories or these achievements inspirational and motivational, we switch on our TV and glue to the TED Talk if it's going on. It's not different. And when we share our own achievements, it will inspire others. It's not so when we share our own achievement, basically it's not different than to TED Talk. And it's okay, they are at smaller scale, but they are achievements. So you should never hesitate to talk openly about your achievements. And when we speak about self promotion, it is important that we narrate the story well. So there is a thin line between bragging and telling your story, and that is the next skill, which is art of storytelling. So let me move the slide. Yeah. And look at the picture carefully. You will have many memories around that picture. So grandmother telling stories, right? So very relatable. What is a story? Simple question. A story expresses how and why life change. So it begins with a situation which is life is relatively in a balanced state. You come to work every day, week by week, year by year. Everything is okay, and you expect it to go that way. Very simple. But then there is a twist. So there is an event that throws life out of balance. You get a new job, or someone you know dies of heart attack. A bigger customer threatens to sue your company or remove the contract. So that's the imbalance you get in between, and that's the twist in the story. So the story is actually describing the process to restore this balance. And this is how I look at it, simple, relating to life. A good storyteller describes what does it take to restore that balance. So the opportunities, opposing forces, uh, work with scarce resources, make difficult situations easy, make those difficult decisions, take actions in spite of having risky situation, and ultimately discover the truth. So happy days. That's the story. So all great storytellers, even from the older times, I'm talking about the ancient Greeks, through Shakespeare and up to the present day, they have dealt with this fundamental conflict between expectations and reality when someone narrates a story. And simple example again, I will connect you to the picture. The grandmom who collects bunch of kids and tells them stories. She's not literate enough, but she knows the stories by heart, and of course, she knows how to make them impressive. So kids come to her. So there is a definite start, there is an entertainment quotient, and there is an ending, and that ending is generally a takeaway message about life. This is how grandmom's story goes. So something very similar model is also followed in business. So there is a bottom lines of first what is in it for me, what I'm going to get from this specific project. And if I am as a presenter able to narrate it very well, then I'm through. Then the ball is in my court. The big question here is how we learn to tell the stories. I think it is in us. So stories have been implanted in us since we are born. Remember when babies are born, moms, grandmoms, they give them massage to even to young toddlers. They chat with them, they talk to them, they tell them or narrate something. It's a small talk. They're practicing small talk, they are telling the story. So the two things happen in the process. The child learns new words, so the child is very attentive because there is a new thing coming, and the moms and grandmoms, they are able to make that connection and complete their task without much hassle. So we read good books, we watch movies, attend plays. What all we remember is story or narration of that specific book or movie. But if we are shown list or bullet points, we tend to forget. That's very easy to forget, right? So in business or at work, the ability to tell a compelling story can be the difference between success and failure. This is how I look at the pitch. So a pitch, a proposal, or narration, it must have a story, a definite start, which is showing what is the benefit, the body, and the ending, of course, which will strike the chord with the receiver. Whether you're pitching your product, building a brand, communicating with customers, storytelling is a powerful tool. Uh, and this will help you to bring connections. And so, what makes a good story? I told you. Think about grandmom. First and foremost, a good story needs to be relatable. It should resonate with the consumer or the audience, capture their attention, and it should also have a very clear structure, very crisp beginning, a middle part, and the end. It should be easy to follow and a quick one. So, as you know, the attention span these days is reducing year on year. And I'm also aware of the fact that if I speak for 1 hour, in 1 hour, every 10 minutes, people will tend to check their mobile or WhatsApp or other things. So attention span is becoming very low. What do we do in that case? So how do we make people listen to our stories? By tapping emotions. So by tapping emotions of your audience, you can build a stronger connection and create a more memorable experience for them. So, for any business audience, it's important to understand what is in it for me. That small gift, which will make their day better, their work better. And if we look at most successful brands like Nike, Apple, Coca Cola, what they have done, they have narrated stories to people to build a strong emotional connection. So, it's not about big brands. Storytelling it is also very relatable to the individuals, and it can help you to stand out from the crowd and make that lasting impression. To become a better storyteller, it's important to start by understanding whom you are narrating the story. So, what are their interests? What are their needs? Are there any pain points? Once you have a very clear understanding about your audience, I think you can start crafting the stories, and that will capture their attention definitely. So, of course, I'm not saying that you just need to tell them stories, it doesn't work like that. So, you need to have data driven insights, authentic rationale behind your proposal, which is very, very fundamental, and then build a story around that. So, to conclude, um, the art of storytelling is very powerful. It's a tool to build stronger relationship by telling compelling stories and very authentic stories. I'm not talking about plagiarized stories. You can create a more memorable and impactful experience for your audience. And the repercussion of this is, of course, your success and growth. So, if you want to improve your storytelling skills, start by understanding the audience, create relatable stories, of course, data driven insights which will resonate with them. And you also may would like to consider skills which will enhance your storytelling skill. The skill I would specifically like to mention is art of reading. So people look at it as hobby. So what is your hobby? Reading, cooking, traveling. Generally on CVs, I see these three hobbies. So uh, I would like to look at reading as a soft skill. It's critical. So often people brag, and I have listened and heard people talking about it. So they take a certain pride in saying that how they have not touched books after their college. I don't find that a good idea. What these people don't realize is this is not good for their growth. It's not reading enough, but it's about putting a full stop to your own growth as an individual. This happens because people fail to realize the benefits of reading, and due to aversion of reading, they miss out on significant amount of benefits that reading offers. So normally we treat reading as a hobby. I spoke about, on CV, very standard. And then when you ask one more question or two more question about books, they say, yeah, I read newspaper, I read articles, and that's good. But if the depth of the reading is not good enough, then you're not able to answer after three, four questions. Uh, and what some people fail to realize that reading can help them not only on personal life, which is entertainment, it helps a lot professionally. So it makes you an effective communicator. So if you read more, you understand the subject very well. It allows you to put forward your thoughts effectively, to impress and influence people. um, we make hundreds of decisions every day: what clothes to wear, what food to cook, what food to eat. Apart from these mundane and low impact decisions, and some people may argue otherwise, we also take multiple decisions at work, related to our work, related to our children, which are having wider impact than not only on us but on others as well. Any hasty decision can have negative impact on many other areas, including our personal space. So reading helps to process the information better and equip us to deal with this ambiguity even better than what we think. Uh, it is exactly same what exercise it is to body. So how to get physical fitness, we do exercise. Or to get mental fitness, I think reading is something which is exercise to the brain. Of course, apart from stimulating the analytical part of the brain, which is scientifically proven, it makes us think about expanding our horizon and evolve as a person. I think this is the bottom line. So, as we improve our analytical skills, we become more efficient at work, able to add more value to the work. And writing skills matter in the workplace because everything we communicate is finally via email. And most of the communication, apart from email, is also in the written form till now. So, as the world evolves, I think let's see, it will be interesting to see how is the mode of communication evolves. But at the moment, it's all written. It is expected that you should be able to write well articulated content at your work. So better writing skills go hand in hand with expansion of your vocabulary. And how is vocabulary built? It is built when we read more, and it becomes stronger as time passes. But for that, we have to continue reading. At the moment, I find reading is really underrated because first, people are unaware of how to incorporate in reading in the day-to-day life. With some consistent efforts and willingness, reading can be a really transformational process. If you're not reading at the moment, that's okay. You can start anytime. And how you start is start small. Start small by reading a 3 to 5 minutes article. Start small by reading 2 pages per day. So for 1 week, you read 2 pages. Make sure that you read them every day. And then from next week onwards, you increase to 4 pages. I think in the current era when we spend so much time uh, scrolling the internet and scrolling the social media platform and liking and sharing and subscribing for no use, we spend so much time there. Taking 5 to 10 minutes out shouldn't be an hassle. Just that consistency will help you to build this reading muscle. You can read anything. The question, very obvious question, is what should I read? I have given some books there for reference. They are my favorites. And the unposted letter book, which is I think my all-time favorite. It's on my table. It's a book which you can read, like take any page and you just read that page, and that's the reading. It's not like a story, so it's very easy read. If you're not reading, it will be worth considering that kind of book. uh, Consistency is the key here. So you start small, you be consistent, reading few pages over a period of time, you build that consistency. Now question is, what to read. I have given some books or references of 4 or 5 books, but I don't think there is a limit. There is no boundary to what you read. Whatever attracts your mind, whatever fancies you. Language doesn't matter. It can be in English, it can be in any other local language you speak. It doesn't matter. It's important that you read. So as you start reading and develop that habit over a period of time, you can diversify the depth and width of your reading content. So apart from reading Indian authors, so you start with Indian authors for an example, you can read about and book which is written by someone who's sitting in Japan, because Japan has a really different culture and an amazing uh, way of living life. Someone who is sitting in Africa, African origin, has completely different set of perspective to share in their book. The content is, may be in English, it may be in local language, it doesn't matter. I think the language doesn't matter here. It's all available in English in most of the places, and I think translations are also available, so language is not a barrier here. The barrier is here, I think it's more like mental barrier. So about starting, keeping it consistent, reading a lot, I think over a period of time, it's very important here. As we understand networking, we spoke about storytelling, we build about how to build a storytelling art, so we spoke about reading, and we acquire all the skills, but over and above, when we gather these skill sets, what we need is some guidance, and guidance from someone who has seen a little bit differently at the picture than you, has a little bit more experience, is expert in something. So that's the mentoring. I think the next skill I would love to speak about is mentor. And having a mentor, so mentor is different than a coach. Very simple. So coach is someone who will hold your hand, who will guide you in journey, who will come scold you, make your journey easy. So coach's role is different. When I talk about mentor, it's different. So in today's dynamic world, it's ever evolving. We see digital advances every 1 year, 1.5, 2 years. With COVID, it has changed a lot, and suddenly it has catalyzed. So the growth of digital era has been catapulted because of COVID. This is how I would like to put it forward. Uh, if you're not just starting your career, you are somewhere in the middle. Even even though you're looking for some guidance, it's good to have mentors. So having a mentor is a perfect resource. This is how I say, for learning best strategies to move forward. And coach is someone who will hold your hand and be with you, but who's mentor? So a mentor is someone with knowledge and experience in the desired field where you want to grow, who's willing to share those insights with you, help you achieve your goal. Ideally, a mentor will be someone who has achieved a certain level of success in their career, and they will help you to reach there. They will be able to challenge you, push you back in the way no one has pushed you before. Uh, doesn't matter. Does not mean that they will always be with you. So they may not be with you. You have to make efforts to connect to your mentor, say monthly, once in a quarter, but you have to stay connected to get that perspective. And not necessary the mentor is always older than you. I think this was my perception for many years, that if I have to have someone who's mentoring me, that person has to be older and experienced enough. Over a period I realized it doesn't work like that. So mentor can be anyone who is expert at something you are interested in and you are happy to learn that skill. You can reach out to the person to get some help and guidance about it, and get that third party opinion. This is how I call mentoring. So it's always good to have multiple mentors than just having one or two. So generally, on an average, I would say 4 to 5 mentors is a good number to have, because in different fields, in different areas, they can help you, guide you. You can reach out and seek their opinions and thoughts about the topic or issue you're going through, and that's a good way to bounce ideas off as well. So have couple of them, and then of course the process of connecting with the mentors is something you have to follow diligently. So you have to be, I would say, very careful when you reach out to the mentor with something. So because if they lose interest, that is the time when they say no, because there is no binding to be your mentor. To maximize the success of this relationship, the mentee should come in with some plan. I think this is how it works. um, Mentee should come with open mind, willingness to learn. Most importantly, it needs to put a lot of work behind it. So if you approach someone as a mentor, the first thing you do is reach out to the person that This is the area I work in. This is the issues I face, and I think based on your experience, it will be good to have your guidance or seek your guidance. So getting that consent for mentorship is very important. I think uh, this is I have learned for many last, I think last 5 to 6 years I have been focusing on mentoring opportunities a lot. Reach out to mentor, so be a mentee and be a mentor. I'm following both the roles and improving that journey day by day. I think having a mentor, it helps you to set your goals. So it's all about having someone in your corner who can provide you valuable feedback, encouragement, and support to help you grow both professionally and personally. So I think mentoring is something you should think about wherever you are in your journey professionally. It's important. It's never too late to have mentors. So it's good to seek perspectives. And let us move to our next soft skill, which is looking at change as an opportunity. Change may be stressful, and change is not taught in books, right? So change is a fact of life. This is how I look at it, and it occurs more and more frequently. And knowing how to handle the change is a survival skill. So you survive in your organization, you survive in industry, you survive at your workplace by understanding what is a change, first of all, how it is impacting, and how to handle this specific change. And there are positive changes, so like a vacation, a marriage, birth of a child, promotion, all positive changes. But there are not so positive changes like loss of job, financial issues, and all these changes cause stress. So all of us would love to have a stressful life, a stress free life, and we are constantly seeking that kind of life and better ways to adopt to change, so the stress is less. Perhaps that's the reason why we are thinking at the moment about the terms dangers and opportunities when it comes to change. So what does it take to make the shift from seeing only the dangers to finding the opportunities? So when first encouraging the change, we move to the survival mode. Like there is a change, whoa, let's move to the survival mode. Let's see what is needed to survive, and tend to see only the dangers or the negatives. But when we start that change, we go through that journey after a specific period. We realize that as time passes, the perspectives change. There is a shift in the potential danger, it diminishes, and that begins the new journey, and that journey is of opportunities. These opportunities which any change brings. So my take here is on the change is, first, it's important to stay calm. You hear a change, you go through a change, it's important to stay calm. Look at the change as a neutral person. So take 2 steps back, see what is the change, and consider that you're not part of that change. You're looking at it as a different person. And when you look at that, it's very easy, right? You are not entangled in the situation. So it's very easy to give advice. That's a very natural thing to happen. So look at the change as a neutral person by taking 2 steps back. And if you're feeling stressed, I think reaching out to someone, and we spoke about mentoring, right? So reaching out to someone who's your mentor, who can help you with some sane advice, because every time when you go through change, you might not be in the best mental state because of the change and because of the stress. So try to look at the change holistically. This is how I try. It's not easy. Again, it's a journey. You have to build that journey for you, and see other aspects by thinking deeper, like these are the dangers which are happening to me, but are there any advantages? So to learn this skill, you may have to go through the change multiple times and build this survival skill of change management. I think I spoke a lot about it. It's very easy to speak, right? So uh, I would like to move to the next and very important and very interesting skill or soft skills these days. uh, I have been talking a lot about networking and mentoring and change management and very typical soft skills we look at. But this one, and it's my favorite, so I work a lot in this specific area, and I would like to continue this discussion and give you a flavor. So I think there is a timer which rang, and I'll be very quick after this. So I would like to continue this discussion and give you a perspective. So you are in a situation where you understand that you're excluded. People are not including you for certain reasons. People are not being equitable to you. You understand this. So what you do, either you don't do anything or you try to resist. So this concept of diversity, equity, and inclusion, it touches everything in very simple words. So if I have to explain this to my teenager daughter, I will say diversity is having a seat at the table. Very, very simple. Equity is having a fair opportunity to get to that table where opportunity lies, and inclusion is having a voice at the table. Very simple words, but very powerful. So diversity carries a lot of weight and history. You will see there are movements across US, across Europe, to inculcate diversity in the culture. What is diversity? It refers to the practice of involving people from different races, cultures, religions, genders, sexual orientations, age, disabilities. Um, at workplace, I think a diverse workplace welcomes people with variety of identities, variety of backgrounds, and you need equity and inclusion as well. Because as I told you, right? So the simple definition about diversity, having a table, uh, opportunity to reach that table, and having a voice at the table. So equity and inclusion are separate terms, but they are very related to the concept, which deepens and broadens the practice of diversity. So I would say these three components you should read more, you should watch videos. Ample content is available in the internet. So they are often abbreviated as DEI or DE&I. They work together to create that more inclusive environment, and at equitable workplace. And it can be any place. It can be your classroom, it can be your say teacher staff room, it can be a corporate workplace. Having diversity, equity, and inclusion in place is very important, and it doesn't impose one size fits all, right? So it considers every human being is different and their needs are different. I would also very quickly touch base with the inclusive language here. So I think as professionals, as young professionals, it's very important to understand this. So when we speak, not all the time we use inclusive language, right? So for an example, we enter in a room, hi people, hi, guys and girls. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I think these are the conversations we use. But when we use guys, girls, ladies, gentlemen, I think we are indicating very specific genders. And in the world which is evolving today, we do have more genders. So to include them, maybe using language like colleagues, team, people, I think this will help us to include more people apart from ladies and gentlemen. Instead of maternity or paternity leave, saying parental leave helps. Saying blind spot is something which is not a good idea. So missed opportunity can be a new word for that. So being very very careful about the words we use, it also leads to inclusive environment. So DEI, a very broad concept, I would say, but very important, critical. And if you're not reading about it, I think you're missing a big piece. So my take here is go out there, read a lot, and watch videos about what it is and how it is playing a role at the global level. I think very quickly I will go through this. So raising hand, and you raise a hand if you find an issue, if you're not able to understand anything, or if you don't know anything, but gathering that courage to raise a hand is very important. I think all three things are very important here. In process you might make mistakes. You might raise a hand at wrong place, and making mistake is perfectly fine. We all make mistakes. I think judging yourself very hard on mistakes when you make mistake is not a good idea for yourself. Be kind to yourself. When you make a mistake, it's part of life. um, we can avoid it, but if it was not avoided, that's okay. Learn from it and move on. So difference between those who succeed and those who fail is how they look at their mistakes, right? So recognizing the mistakes are natural part of life. They are part of human evolution. Do not judge yourself hard or very hard. This is how I look at it. If you don't know why something happened, then it's impossible to fix it. So when you make a mistake, it's okay. what we need to do before is analyze it before moving forward. And I would say failure is not shameful. Failure, most of the times, it is very purposeful. It is designed to teach you lessons. It is designed to make you learn something. So, so I would say when you raise hand, obviously there are opportunities where you will make mistake and you will fail, and that's okay. So let me connect and come back to raising hand from professional perspective. And this is how I tell myself, raise your hand if you would like to be valuable and just not helpful, right? So as a woman, and I know I have seen this happening, women tend to pick up the less impactful task more than men. So let me pick up snacks for the meeting, or sure, I'll organize the lunch, I will organize the picnic, I will organize the outing, I'm happy to help. So women tend to do these tasks more than men, and this is my experience and observation goes. The rooted desire to be helpful is very, very dominant and common in women, and sometimes it gives you a quick dopamine boost because you were helpful, you were thanked, uh, you were praised, and that makes you feel good. But you know what happens, it rapidly becomes your thing. So you do something, then people next time will say, oh, last time you did this very well, so why don't you do it again? It is exhausting sometimes, believe me. The less impactful work you do 100 times is, it doesn't carry any value if you do one activity which is very impactful. And I'm not saying that take your hands off of all these tasks, do it, but be very judicious when you raise your hand for doing something. And cheerfully volunteering gives happiness, and I completely agree that. But if you want to advance, I think the quick fix of over volunteering needs to be avoided. Instead of, take a step back and think how you can contribute meaningfully. And if you have done that task last time, which is very mundane, let others do it instead of raising hand. And there is a possibility someone might say, oh, you have done this last time, why don't you do it, because you know the process. It's very important to stop there and say no. So saying no, I would say it's another piece to deal with. It's another 1 hour topic, but it's an important art to learn. Saying no, it takes you at greater heights. So saying no is great, yes, when it comes to propelling yourself in your career and in the growth journey. So if you think of organizing something like a meeting or outing or that kind of stuff, it is best to contribute impact in impactful way to keep it forward, and then go ahead and then rock on the meeting. But it's very important to understand that if there are 10 less impactful tasks, then distribute them equally. Say no to some things, and do it with pride. So this is my take to all the women out there who are sitting and thinking about this and reflecting about all the times when you raise your hands, if you want to be helpful or you want to be valuable. I think this is a big question you ask yourself when you pick up that task every time, which exhausts you. So raising hand is important, but where and how much you raise it is something to acquire as a skill. Last three slides. I think I'm nearly reaching a time. Uh, Three important skill again. Watching your screen time. This Instagram scrolling is never ending. So watch your screen time. Do meditate a lot. 5-10 minutes per day sitting with yourself is very important. Physical fitness is something everybody should focus. It's everybody's domain at the moment. And why I'm calling these three as soft skill, they are actually life skills. So you should be following them much often than you do currently, and develop that journey. So yeah, that is all from my side at the moment. And for today, let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Yogini madam. I must say, there is overwhelming response to your session. You can see the chat box. There are lot many messages for you. Uh, One by one, we will start with the questions. There are questions. Question by Tarannum Patave.
So I don't see the Chat box here in my screen. I don't know how to. Okay.
Madam, you have to make stop sharing your
Okay. Yeah.
PPT.
Yeah. Yeah. I see now.
Question is you're on screen, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to scroll now. Uh, uh, if you can help me with the questions because I think we are nearly at time.
Is it visible to you?
Yeah, I can see them now. Most of them are good morning, good morning. Okay, I reached to Taranum.
The question is, some people have reserved nature. So in this case, how we increase or start professional networking with others?
I think this is a very good question, very valid and very practical question. If you have a reserved nature, and so do I have, right? So I told I'm a very introvert person. If you would have seen me 20 years ago, I was a different person. You evolve over a period of time, you build that muscle. So start talking to yourself first. If you are really very introvert, talk in front of the mirror and slowly maybe you reach out to one or two people, try to talk on those topics which you practice, increase your conversation, listen to their perspective, and then you join with the bigger groups. It's a very slow process, but I think being very consistent is required here. So after 4 or 5 iterations with a smaller group, you will reach out to a bigger group and you will reach out to the network. So professional networking, I would say it's a very slow process. It starts maybe with one person. You can have someone as a buddy and try to increase your network by connecting to that person's network. You connect with many people and over a period of time you build that network. So I completely understand your question. It's I think consistency is the key here, and reaching out to more people and breaking that inner hesitation about connecting with people and thinking people will judge me. I think you have to let it go. So yeah, I hope I
Uh,
answered it. It may have taken a quick response. It's a very long subject. I really like the question, but I'm just looking
yes,
at
yes.
time.
Second question from Dr. Vivekanand Chatpalliwar, sir. How to beat prejudice in networking bias?
I think this is a very good question. So when you interact with someone, and specifically people, ये मेरे गाँव वाला है, so I will interact more. And then when you look at certain people, they may not be from your gaon, they may not be from your city, from other cities, countries, and then you have a sub unconscious bias in your mind when you interact. So my take here, and I interact with many people from different nationalities, and when I see someone from a specific nationality, I say this is what I can expect. So when that thought comes to my mind, I say no, I'm going to speak to this person with open mind. And this is how slowly you beat the prejudice which comes to your mind when you speak to someone. So again, it's a very conscious effort you have to take every time you speak to someone. Everybody cannot be your gawala, right? So you have to
Yes,
interact with other
yes, yes,
people with open mind.
exactly, exactly. Third question is from Mr. Hitesh Shahare, Dr. Hitesh Shahare, sir. Hello, ma'am. Nice to hear you. Very nice session for today's need. How we can maintain our positive attitude with selfish persons at workplace?
I think I don't know, the questions are so amazing. I'm loving them, and
Amazing,
they
amazing,
itself
really
take
amazing.
like an hour time, like each question to brainstorm. At
Yes,
workplace, uh, believe me, every other person is selfish. You
selfish.
come to work with a selfish motive, right? To grow, to earn money. So the first thing you have to accept mentally is if you are standing at workplace, almost 99% will be selfish. So accepting that there are people who are selfish and everybody is selfish at the place. So from that selfishness, what you find is what is needed to get the work done, and stay away from the negativity which they spread. And it's not unavoidable, right? So they spread negativity, and you get entangled in that. But but keeping your mind calm and understanding how far this goes when it comes to selfishness, I think this is a key to keep your attitude positive, and be aware about the detrimental effects these people put on you. I know I didn't answer this very well, but just conscious of time. I'm
Next
looking at the next
question.
question very quickly. Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw
yeah.
that. Mm, I say ideally 4 to 5, and why that number? So how did I figure out that number? So I at one stage I had been meeting 7 to 8 people, uh, but for me it was not giving good impact because I was not able to prepare when I met my mentors. So 4 to 5 is a manageable number when it comes to mentorship. This is how my hunch goes, but it depends on the person. But I think having 1 to 2 is not, it's less number. So for minimum 4 people is something I will be looking at.
Can you see the next question?
Yeah, I see the next question. Many times teacher
Yeah.
have to do many tasks at one time. How to handle this? uh, I think very relevant question to the current time. And I would see, so in a meeting I sit for 30 minutes, and if it's a group of 10 people, out of 10 people 8 people will look at their mobile after every 2 minutes. This is the frequency we see, like, with the left hand people keep scrolling. There is nothing important, no one is dying, right? But still people are not able to focus. So they think that they are multitasking, and multitasking is becoming new thing. But I think what you have to do is prioritize. This is how I look at managing multiple things at once. So as a teacher, I have never been a teacher, I would love to be though. But as a teacher, when you arrive, I think during the day, first things first, and this is how I do at my work. So I have a to do list. I will prioritize, these are the top 5 things which are impacting my day and making my life better. I will do them. And if I don't do these 2 things, they are very critical, they will not let me sleep, so let me do them first, let me eat that frog first. These are things which can wait, no one is dying, so I can do that later. So I think prioritizing, it helps to handle many tasks at the same time.
Next question.
Next question, how to deal with egoistic people judging all the time with a sense of superiority that makes them the biggest obstacles and discouraging someone trying to do networking. uh, I think this is a very specific question someone has asked. Um, Question to think about. Like, so there are two scenarios. One is, first you understand where, and I'm just looking at this very commercially, right? So first look at the person, think from the person's perspective, and try to understand what is that thing which will help to satisfy ego of the person. Are there things where, if the person is your boss, you can't avoid the person, you're not going in newer job, but what are those things which are impactful and make life of this person easy from the work perspective, right? So I'm just talking professionally. Try to follow all those things. If they have really high sense of superiority and ego, sometimes when you show value addition in the form of work, that helps. But if you're not able to manage it by efforts, then I think another way is look for options, because you should not remain in toxicity for longest time. So something which causes you, or which takes peace of mind away from you, is not worth it. So thinking options, but that is worst case scenario. I think being there and trying to manage the situation practically is something I do. But again, it depends situation to situation. So if you would like to chat more, maybe you can send me message on LinkedIn. I'm available there. We can connect if that helps better. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. This is my one of the finest session I have chaired so far, uh, because I think that means personally and emotionally everybody connected to your slides, and this is what happens in our real life also. So thank you so much, ma'am, for giving us insightful thoughts on soft skills at work. I am very much confident that all the audience will definitely implement uh, the points you have discussed in the session. So thank you so much, and please accept this certificate of appreciation on behalf
Thank
of
you. Thank you.
MSG Copper. Okay.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this opportunity to talk, and I would love to come again.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Dear audience and delegates, our next session is starting right now with the third session link. So every delegates are requested to join the third session link. Ma'am, you can leave the studio right now.
Bye everyone. Thank you so much.